and if it goes ahead under the current arrangements, that will bring in £7,500. So remember the budget, the contracts haven't been signed yet, so that could come down to a few £100 we've already had and a few £100 not getting now. But providing it goes ahead, that with the income.
Why is it £4,000 below the official valuation?
This is not a full year, they don't start paying until.
But that's the budget for the next year, so wouldn't it be for, because haven't they got the keys now?
This is the budget from March of this current year until April from this current year to the end of March next year. If the lease starts, if they take on the lease, they start paying this year, and that is the amount of money they will pay.
And this year being from April.
Yeah.
They
don't start paying.
Anyway, so it's based on a pro rata basically.
Yes,
so Rutland House Community Trust, that was pretty standard, isn't it? Cuts close lettings, are we realistically going to hit 2,000?
Well, we put that in as a challenge. The budget previously was 1,800. We didn't reach it. We thought that is a reachable challenge.
Well, they're fair this year. No, it was too muddy. We have the search, that's about all we've had, isn't it?
All right, okay, fair enough. If it's we've not.
Could we not change that heading to actually parks lettings? Because a lot of people have been saying to me they want the circus back up at recreation grounds. And I actually think that would be a more successful.
Yeah, well, we could put it as
access, isn't it?
Lettings. Yeah, there's no
access there now.
No drop code. Not since they put the fence up around the car park.
Yeah.
To create access.
What?
There's no access onto the. When the fitness people put that car park in with the fence, it close the access onto the park.
How can you get a lorry on there?
Can't.
How do they get the lawnmowers and all that junk?
The lawnmowers about the size of that.
Yes, but they have the big trucks on as well.
Anyway, it's a minor point. The thing is, the budget is £2,000 income. Allotment rents, £350. That's pretty fixed, isn't it?
Well, are we not asking for an increase in things like that?
Yeah, but we notice
Sorry, second.
have to give a year's notice.
Well, shall we not be giving a year's notice then? Yeah.
That's supposed to be 2018.
Yeah.
So this year we wouldn't be able to do an increase.
No, but can we minute that we could give them notice next year?
I think the choice wants it an allotment rent review possibly.
I think maybe we could ask the clerk to look in, like they do in the contract, look into these leases or lettings, because I think we've never been clear on them, and we were always told, well, they're only entitled to this. And
interest then, £200 income?
Yeah, the bank rate, there's no indication that interest rates will affect.
No, it's going to go down,
Grants, other income, use of reserves.
So we've now got another income, we've got to now put in
25,000?
25,000.
And also 15,000. Oh, you're not going to want to put the 15,000 for the cemetery, are you? You're going to leave that just for reserve. So just 25 then. Okay, so this will now give us the new percentage, will it? Will we scroll down? Give you one. We're going to have to put a copy back, aren't we?
So now then, what the bottom line looking at, we're looking at.
Okay, let's focus.
Looking at expenditures, and we need £245,770, which equates to £62.40 from abandoned D property. That's an increase of £7.93. A percentage in the year. Yeah, and a percentage increase of 15%.
Which means we can have
Right, so just to so let's go, I'm going to go around the table, ask everybody just to, if they want to speak for a minute on what they think about this at the current time. So the council tax increase, you can see it's £7.93 for a Band D house for the year, or what is equates to the 15% always looks bigger than what it really is.
Yes.
All right, so go around the table. Vince, you got any observations or comments on that? Happy with that?
The only comment I wanted to make
you wrote down looking at rent for, I think we should review bowls, tennis.
Yeah.
What are we looking
We
at?
can do, I think we have 100-year leases with them, don't we? We have 100-year leases signed with them, where it's actually, the increase is tied to the still index, isn't it? So we will do it, and it'll come to an agenda item in the year, but they are very tied down.
We've also intensified our looking for renewable plans.
Yes, they are.
Are they?
Yes.
That's a good tank out
Oh,
down
yes.
there, wouldn't it? Because we can all go play tennis afterwards. Peter,
Yes, I'd like to make a couple of comments. It looks like the Buckland County Council are going to put theirs up 3.99%. So the rough back of envelope calculation, if we leave that as it is, Oakham people are going to pay about 4.5% extra. I would suggest we perhaps consider doing what we did in this current year. We put 16,600 from reserves to reduce the impact. And if we do something like that, we then come back to nearer the 3.99%. And I think, I want to put this in the right manner. The reserves aren't brilliant. They're not as good as they look because they bulge at the beginning of the year and they go down as time goes on. But I think we've got a bit of room this year to do the same, particularly as I think we'll find at the end of the year, and according to the way things are going, we're underspending a little bit. So we could do that. And I think that would be a good message from Oakham Town Council, that we're mindful of the fact that times are a bit tough and we've done our best. We're giving consideration to improving things in the town, but we've really put some sort of cap at a similar level to RCC.
thank you, Peter. Richard?
Nothing else, I think.
Martin?
I'd just like to see it reduced, I would support that too. But I would also question, like we've got a report here which is quite well written, but it says our reserves are healthy. Now I sat down and yes, I estimated, but I'd like to know exactly what reserves we've got, because at the last meeting we were told we had 240,000 on a paper, but that didn't take into consideration the expenditure from that date of the next 5 months. And then the 62,000 which was earmarked from last week, I would estimate that we had reserves of about £100,000. But as a council setting the budget, we should actually know what that figure is. Not this the reserves go up and down, because I've asked before at this council meeting what the reserves, and that's why it was a shock to me, because I've been told figures like we only have 20,000 or we only have 60. So I would like to be in the situation as a council to know
Joyce?
exactly what we've got.
Thank you, Chairman. I was going to ask the same question. Is it possible to find out what the reserves are?
We can work that out on this spreadsheet. The last page of the last meeting did give you the reserves.
Well, have we got the minutes from the meeting?
Yeah, I mean,
There's £240,000.
Well, that's.
I think what it would be, rather than try and man up some figure, because obviously we've just gone through that, which we'll come to in a minute again. Is it any chance that by the next meeting that we have a pretty clear indication with our estimated spend by the end of the year what our reserve would be?
Yeah.
Is that, can we do that?
We're not easing into the general reserve at the moment, because the budgets for this current year are underspent.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the reserves are, there's two parts of the reserve. There's a general reserve, which is a buffer for things which you can't predict happening, that can happen.
Yes.
The earmark reserves are specifically for future events. For instance, the cuts close to play equipment, at some point, all the swings and roundabouts will need replacing. They won't last forever. And so at some future date, perhaps 10, 20 years' time, the council will need, I don't know, £60,000, £100,000 whatever to replace it. So earmark reserves are set aside against things like that, and good practice is to build on that each year. So if let's say we assume that the play equipment will need replacing in 20 years' time and it will cost £100,000, we need to have that £100,000 in 20 years' time in place. Don't need all of it now, but each year you add to it. So when it comes to it, you've got it. The two concerns I've got with what Peter's suggesting, and I don't think we have robust earmark reserves. So that's not a problem for us, but we are stacking up a problem for a future council. My other concern is, I really believe at some point, probably fairly soon, this government is going to close the loophole whereby at the moment county councils are capped. What Rutland County Council is doing is what most county councils are doing, is shedding costs down as hard and fast as they can to district, parish and town councils because they're not capped. We can increase our demand by whatever we like, it's not capped. And I think fairly soon they're going to cap it. My concern is if we eat into our reserves, we may find in a year, 2 years, I think within the life of this government, that suddenly we're capped and now we're stuffing a future council. That are the concerns I have.
Okay. Roughly, because we do get the precept come through from the county, and of course that gives us £250,000, which is pretty much what our income is, which is more or less what, let's say, our expenditure is 250, which means between now and the end of the year we're going to be spending about 83,000 on just to finish off the rest of the year. If we put in the 25k from the reserves for the paths, and if we put in the 16.5, we're basically going to be eating into we'll probably only have about £100,000, £124,000 left. That's just on a very fag-packing guess.
And we haven't looked at it.
Yeah. But we will try and get a more detailed figure. I'm going to let Malcolm speak before we come back to Martin. I think you'll speak.
There's not any law, Joe, that specifies the amount of reserves in the council to keep. Quite definitely. The last guidance that I received some years ago now came from the Association of Local Authority Accountants, or whatever they're called at the moment, which expressed the view that general reserves should be in the order of 25% to 50% of your yearly expected guaranteed income, which is a precept. But on top of that, as Michael quite rightly says, that figure is elevated by specific earmarked reserves for particular projects. And therefore, I think it would be wise in whatever resolution you want to pass this evening, that you specify those areas. And I think that they're mentioned in Michael's paper, toilets, bandstand and so on. And you include that in the minute, that will satisfy the auditors.
Martin.
The problem I have, you are correct in what you're saying, because in my jungle emails I've tried to point that out. If we go over 50% of what we expect to come in, we've got to explain that. And from what I saw in December, we were over 50, over 100%. But I can't see how we can tonight earmark reserves when we don't know what those reserves are. And we need a figure. We know 62,000 was earmarked because that's come from Larkfleet, but we need a figure at some stage. And this is improvement, it's not criticism, because the council's never been able to do it. We need to be in the situation, whereas, because we keep saying we'll put 16,000 from there, or this from that from the reserves, but nobody really knows what we've got. And we need to be in that situation of knowing what we've got. So sorry, John. No, tell me to shut up.
Actually, the reserves are on the external auditor's certificates.
But not £240,000.
On the external auditor's certificate, reserves and earmark reserves are shown for the last year, and that comes through each year. I'm not suggesting that we can sit down now and start dealing with earmark reserves. I'm just saying I think it's a prudent view. Be mindful of that before we start eating into reserves. And the other thing is, as far as I've already pointed out, there is, in law, there is no minimum or maximum
Yes.
reserve. We can have pounds, which would be very clever. We can have 20 million, which also probably be very clever. But in law, we could do.
But it must be earmarked, you can't
No,
just stash it.
sorry, the law is quite clear. There is, I just want that point quite clear so we understand that, because I'm sorry, Martin, you are wrong. There is no legal upper or lower limit to the reserves that any council can hold.
But the external auditor asks you
Let me
a
say
question.
here, right, let me say, right, he's made the point, you disagree with it, you go away and you prove the evidence that contradicts that, because we're not going to have, he said this, he said that. I want to go back to the 16,600 that Peter raised a point, which I cannot ignore, where he said, how do the rest of the council feel that we should take 16,600 into this budget as an income from the reserves to help that increase be more closer to 4%? I just want to get the feeling of the council. I know Michael's opinion because he feels it may push our potential reserves to a lower level. So, who would be in favour of getting that 7.93 closer to the 4? So, who would be in favour?
Personally, I think, because you explained it very clever, because I'm not that clever to understand the figures, we are underspent this year.
Yes.
So therefore, we have the potential to be underspent next year.
Yes.
So therefore, I think it would be a prudent move.
So you think it's a good move, Dan?
Yeah, I think it's-
Peter, you think it's a good move?
Yeah, it sounds convincing
Richard,
to me.
Sally Ann?
Yeah.
Martin?
I think it's good, but I would like to know what the reserves are.
But we already know that, you've said that 7 times. We know what your opinion is, we will try and find out what the reserves are, but I can't put, look, I haven't got my top hat with me.
I know.
Joyce, are you in favour of it? Michael, you're against it. Okay, can we, because we're setting the budget, can we put an income then of 16,600 as well? So that would be, what, that would be 41,600? 41,600.
Yeah.
3.71.
But it's a certain percent.
No, it's not. It's right. It's council tax is £3.71, which is still a tax increase of 7%. It's not. Has it made a huge big enough difference? Is it? It's only 2 cups of coffee there. You just your opinion.
I think given you've got extra expenditure, lots of the grants, streamlining.
It's cost 32,000, haven't we?
Plus 21,000.
If we look this year, Rutland County Council, it's cost us £28,000, £17,000. Let's just go back to the total income again. That's the income.
But that was money from central government.
So what was it? 'Cause it was-
Increase that down.
What was it? It was only about 9%, wasn't it, or something? It's only come down more because of
No,
that.
it's more than that.
The grant was almost 16,124 pounds zero. So we've lost 16,500. We've picked up.
We picked up 11,000, so that's 27,000 we're worse off this year.
And of course, and the cemetery working group hasn't reported back to council.
Well, at the moment, the way the council are feeling, that the budget the majority want to do is where we go for a council tax increase of 7%. And that's if we put that extra that's 16,600. Is everybody still comfortable with that? Because you've got to be, yeah?
It's £3.71 a year.
£3.71 a year we'd be asking the Czech Republic to pay, which is brilliant for them. Is everybody still happy with that budget? That's the question now, isn't it? Because if there's nothing more to be added, we'll be looking to propose and then vote.
Can we take that horrible line off the bottom? I don't think it looks good for it, because I'm really
This is a working document. This is
a
to
working
give a.
illustration.
I know, but I hope that's not published.
No.
Lots of copies.
Only by
So
you.
I'll put that there, Martin. It's a working
Or
illustration.
anybody who watches the video.
We've recorded it, we've published that, remember that. So, right, it's a bit like, hammer goes down once, hammer goes down twice. So, last time I'm going to ask then, the budget that this council has spent, and I think we've done really well on this as well, the budget that we're looking at setting is there in front of you, The council tax Band D property, 58.18 per year, which represents a council tax increase for 2017-18 of £3.71, or in a percentage wise 7%. It's important that we will be doing a press release on whatever we do, and we'll be emphasising the pound signs value as opposed to the percentage, because the percentage is misleading. Let's not mislead the public and say it's 7%. It's still, it's £3.71. So I'm looking for somebody to propose a budget.
Well, I'll propose, but before I do that, I just want to say, the most important thing you've said tonight, you just said,
Yes.
but it's going to go in the press. And therefore, members of the public will get the true story.
Oh, yeah, the facts.
And not the interpretation on blogs, which is
Yeah.
completely
So-
misrepresented.
So
It's not. If I
propose-
the press are going to say it's
Right,
7%.
proposed by Stan that this budget, as you see it there, is seconded by Vince. All those in favour of this budget? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is unanimous. Oh no, you voted against it. You voted against it. Okay. Do you want a minuted, Councillor Brooks, or not?
Yes, the reason I'll explain that, because the fact that we've guessed on contracts.
That's
I
right.
think that makes a huge difference.
If there's no other business, I don't believe, is there? No.
Can I just,
I would say, do you want to congratulate the finance working group?
yes.
Can we minute Vince, Howard saying, and we all would echo this, the work that's going on with the finance working group, which is Peter and Michael, working with the clerk and the assistant clerk, is well noted, and I appreciate all the effort you've put in.
Absolutely.
Well done. And the time is now, let's get this right, on this complicated, 20:45 hours. Or 20:45, ignore that, I'll get off this. 20:45, end of meeting.